Hi everyone. Welcome to Psychology for Dummies, the newest, coolest course introduced by TLU for dummies like you and me, who don't know shit about how our mind works but still want to produce lifelong learners. Good luck with that. So in today's lesson, we are going to learn about memory. In particular, we are going to talk about why do we remember things that are funny or absurd better than ordinary things. Did that make you think about the funniest teacher you ever had? Good for you. I cannot recall a single teacher because I come from China. Wait, is that why I cannot remember anything ever? So today we have many fake neuroscientists and educationists in this room who will help you learn the science behind this phenomenon. For instance, we have Dr. Wasma with a PhD in neuroscience who will talk about how the brain perceives information and what kind of information sticks around. Then we will have Dr. Diana, who will tell us why are funny, absurd things more memorable. And we will then have Dr. Pei, who will tell us why do we forget. And lastly, we will have our Dr. Joy, a PhD in education, who will tell you dummies how to apply all this information to classroom settings. Oh, by the way, I am Chen. Yeah, just call me Chen. I'm not a doctor because I have a life. So let's give the floor to Dr. Wasma.
So I'm going to tell you how the brain perceives information and more importantly, what kind of information sticks around generally. So the first few moments of learning are very important. They pretty much determine whether we will remember something or forget it later. We have two kinds of memories, declarative and non-declarative memory. When we receive a new piece of information, our hippocampus, which is a part of our temporal lobe, is involved in converting short-term memories into long-term memories through the process of encoding. Oh wait, I just got a message from my friend Miss Hippo who wants to tell you how it actually works.
Miss Hippo here from the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of your brain that helps you remember things. Without your brain, you wouldn't remember your best friend's name or what flavor of ice cream is your favorite.
Oh no! Thank you so much, Miss Hippo. That was lovely. So the name of your friend and our own name are part of our long-term memory. If our hippocampus is damaged, we cannot remember any of that. This is exactly what happened to HM, the famous 9-year-old boy who fell from his bike and after a surgery could not even recognize himself in the mirror. That's because his hippocampus was removed. This procedure left him with amnesia. Anyhow, so when we receive a piece of declarative information, the kind of encoding that happens on that information has a great impact on whether we will remember it at a later date or not. Quality of encoding matters. Encoding involves all of our senses. Also, the more personalized a memory is, the longer it will last. Information is more readily processed in the brain if it is personal because it can immediately be associated with present information. Moreover, the mood we are in at the time of learning has an impact on how well we learn. Lastly, more the learner focuses on the meaning of information when presented, the more elaborately coding is done. So, with these things in mind, I'm going to give the floor to Dr. Diana.
So, yes, Dr. Wasma told you why we generally remember things better. Now it's time for the fun part. Why do we remember funny things? One thing that Dr. Wasma mentioned was that learning in a positive mood helps strengthen the encoding of information. When we are laughing at a funny joke while learning, we are, in fact, in a happy mood, and so we remember it better. This is because emotions act like a highlighter that emphasize certain aspects of experiences to make them more memorable. Do you remember this movie? where we can see all these colorful characters to illustrate how emotions influence our memories. But how do memories and emotions become connected? The process begins with the stress hormones released by adrenal glands, which ultimately activate the amygdala. As you can see over here, the amygdala is located above a pair of seahorse-shaped things called the hippopotamus? Oh no, there it is. It's the hippocampus. So, the amygdala is specialized for the processing of emotion, while the hippocampus is essential for the episodic memory. Also, considerable studies have concentrated on the application of hippocampus in emotion regulation and response to positive emotional pictures or stimuli. So, positive emotions activate our friend hippo, who convert information to long-term memory. It is also true that when someone says something funny, we can associate with or relate with it better. It is more personal. It makes us think of something familiar. And, as we discussed before, this proves the quality of encoding. Okay, now, tell me, why do you think you can remember your birthday party, but not where you put your kiss? Aha! That is because you are using two physically separate kind of long-term memory. The birthday party is engraved in your episodic memory, a very powerful system of preserving the rich details for events. The hormones released when you feel strong emotions intensifies these memories, and your hormones really pump on your birthday party night. But the location of your kiss was recorded in your scratch pad memory, which is separate and notable for two qualities. Number one, you cannot store much information there, and the information evaporates quickly, usually within a few hours. And now let's receive our dear Dr. Pei. She has something really interesting to tell you guys.
If you still remember what Dr. Wasma and Dr. D said just now, you will understand that emotion is one of the important factors that contributes to the process of memory. On the contrary, do things that do not trigger our emotions tend to be forgotten easily? If you want to remember things for a longer period of time, you will need better stimuli during the encoding process. When the information you receive is ordinary, or something you simply encounter every single day, it is less likely that you will pay too much attention to it, and therefore you probably won't feel much about it. Yeah, Jackie Chan, why are you so surprised? Without triggering your emotion, your precious hippocampus isn't as active as when you hear something funny. As a result, your encoding process is most likely gonna be as ineffective as persuading Donald Trump to stop making sexist jokes. And there's a chance that this piece of information only stays in the short-term memory for a period of time and won't make it to the long-term memory because there's probably not enough information for you to encode it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why people tend to forget ordinary things easily.
You already heard from my fellow doctors how memory works. Now, I'm gonna tell you how we can make learning fun and memorable. Don't you know that 90% of people tend to forget what they learn in class? Most of it happens within the first few hours. So how can you make students remember what they learned? Teachers who use humor are more positively rated by their students because this makes the learning process more enjoyable. However, not all humor is good. So when we incorporate humor in class, we have to be careful. A positive humor, for example, has a lot of benefits. But a negative humor has also a great impact on a student's life. So how can we use humor in the classroom more effectively? A teacher can design his or her lesson in different ways. A teacher can also create a classroom rules using humorous pictures, which will help students to easily remember them. And why do we use humor in the classroom? Here are the positive benefits. And finally, humor can help students understand concepts and lesson content better. It can also capture and maintain attention and motivation.